What's up, my friend? Welcome to the Finding Direction podcast. My name is Stu Massengill, and I'm here every single week to bring you a passionate guest or message dedicated to helping you find your purpose so that you can live a life full of passion, fulfillment, and happiness. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for hanging out with me, and let's dive in. What's up? Welcome back to the Finding Direction podcast. I am beyond excited, as always, to have another conversation with you today as we dive into how do you live in your purpose? How do you find your purpose, find your direction, and maximize living that every single day? Today, we're going to have a powerful episode as we dive into 4 benefits to starting now. Yes, now in all caps, N-O-W, not tomorrow, not next week, not 2023, my friend, but 4 benefits to starting now and how you can start to kill procrastination today. So as we dive into this call, and before we dive into this podcast, actually, not this call, we're not on a call, but before we dive into this podcast, I want to say thank you as always for being here. If you're enjoying this show, I want to ask you to take a quick second to hit that subscribe button so you can hang out with me every week as I bring you valuable tools, tricks, insights, strategies, conversations with amazing people. And if you're enjoying this show, I would be beyond extraordinarily grateful if you would leave us a review. Let us know what your experience is like and what you want more of, and maybe what some of your favorite nuggets are that you've got from this show. All right, so go do that. Hit the subscribe. Leave us a review if you like it. And without further ado, let's dive in, my friend, to the 4 benefits to starting now and how you can start to kill procrastination immediately. And so what we want to do is today you're listening to this, if you're listening to it when it came out, and we are just kicking off November. And oftentimes what happens is we get to November and we go, man, you know, the New Year's is in 2 months, right? Maybe it's November and you're thinking, man, how the hell is it already November, right? The year flies by. And sometimes November gets here and we start to think about, man, when 2023 comes, man, I'm going to kick butt. When 2023 comes, I'm going to take names. I'm going to finally, declare the life that I want. I'm going to take these steps. I'm going to take these actions, and I'm going to start January 1st, right? And a lot of us have that intention. Now, although that's a good intention, although 2023 is a great time to start moving or continue moving the needle forward in your life, my challenge to you and my discussion I'd want to have with you is if you know you want to make some of these things happen in 2023, if you know there's some switches, some things coming into your life, why wait 2 months? Why not get a 2-month head start on the entire world and start now? Say, you know what? It's November, whether it's the beginning and you're listening to this when this came out, or whether it's mid-November, or maybe you're even listening to this totally another time. But let's not wait. Let's not wait till 2023 kicks off. Let's take some action now in our life to create a life that we love, that enriches us, that continues to fill us to the brim and overflow. All right. And so the first benefit to starting now that we've agreed, yes, you and I have agreed, correct? I know we have, that we're going to start now, not in 2023. So the first benefit to starting now is you want to understand that if you don't start now, it may never happen. Right? If you don't start right now, right in this moment as you hear my voice, that there's a good chance that it may not ever happen. Right? We all know that life happens, right? Things come into our life, things go out of our life. And sometimes we can have a great intention for our life, and all of a sudden, you know what? A month goes by, 2 months goes by, and all of a sudden something else picks up, something else comes up, something else comes across your plate. And you never get to the thing that you always talked about doing, the thing that you knew you wanted to do. So you want to understand if you don't do it now and you're going, man, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it next week, I'm going to do it in 2023. You want to understand that time is an illusion, right? If you don't do it right now in this moment, when you have this intention, you have this calling on your heart to do something, there's a chance that on top of that, you're probably building a habit of not taking action when your heart feels called to do something. right? Let's inspect that for a second, right? If you begin to build a habit, and I've seen so many people that I've interviewed see this, is so many people that I interviewed, they have that pull on their heart, that calling, that thing they know they're supposed to do, and they've built a habit in their life that when that thing comes, that gut, that heart, that pull, that whisper, that poke, whatever you want to call it, they've created a habit to immediately take action on that thing. So you want to understand that by not taking action, even on a deeper level, you're building a habit of inaction. You're building a habit of putting things off. You're building a habit of saying, you know what, I'll make this thing happen in a month, 2 months, 3 months. Right? So if you don't do it now, it may never begin to happen. And I want to give you a quote that changed my life. It's the reason that I'm having this conversation with you 100%. And it's a quote that someone shared with me when I kind of kicked off on my speaking journey. And it was that a shitty plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow because tomorrow doesn't exist. Right? Think about that. A shitty plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow because tomorrow doesn't exist. And if there's one thing that I could add into that piece, is it's a shitty plan today with great execution is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. Right? A shitty plan today with great execution is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. So you could have the worst plan for what you know you're supposed to do next in your life, and if you execute it on it incredibly well, you are going to be 10,000 steps further than the person that's trying to create this perfect formulaic plan for their life, right? So maybe ask yourself in this moment, have you been waiting for the perfect moment? Have you been waiting for the moment when things are supposed to align, when things are in the right places and all the cards are in the right spaces? Have you been waiting for that perfect moment, or is waiting for the perfect moment just an excuse? If we get real for a second, is waiting for it to be so perfect just an excuse so that you do not have to start today, right? Or is there a way that you could say, you know what? Screw it. I don't need it to be perfect. Screw it. I'm going to take a shitty action today that's at least going to move the needle forward in my life. And if you do that, and then you do it again tomorrow, you do it the day after, and the day after, all of a sudden when 2023 comes around, you are going to be so much further ahead in your life because you said, you know what, I'm not waiting for 2023 to have a perfect plan. I'm not waiting for 2023 to take action. I'm going to take action today. And you know what? I'm going to take a shitty action. Right? That should be your mantra over the next 60 days or however many days we have to the end of the year. What was my shitty action that I took today? What was my shitty action that I executed on superbly? What was my shitty action that I crushed it at today? And if you just continue to take shitty actions over and over and over and over and over, obviously learn from them, right? Improve, get better. But if you do that, you are going to start to benefit because you took action now and you did not wait. All right. So that's the first benefit to starting now. And the second benefit to starting now is you want to understand that it's never going to feel easier to start. And sometimes what can happen is we have something we want to do with our life, right? Maybe we know we need to make a change. We need to make a shift. We want to improve things in our life. As we go, man, if I push this off a week, a month, a year till 2023, well, obviously this thing's going to feel easier if it's in a month or two, right? This thing's going to feel easier if I don't have to do it, today, but I have to do it in 2 weeks. And we create this false sense of illusion that because we don't have to do it today, that when that day comes, that it will be easier. But what I want you to understand as you hear my voice right now is it's not going to be easier. Yes, you should prepare. Yes, you should put in the work, the effort, the energy. So when you get to that moment, you're ready. Absolutely, you should do that. But you want to understand that it's never really going to feel easier, and that uncomfortable feeling that sometimes sits in your stomach as you think about doing that thing that you know is going to move the needle forward in your life, that uncomfortable feeling is not going to go away. And more so, you want to understand that uncomfortable feeling, really what it is it's a sign that it matters. It's a sign that you care. It's a sign that you're moving in the right direction, because if you weren't uncomfortable, it wouldn't be that important to you, right? So you want to understand, because it's not going to feel easier in a week, because it's not going to feel less uncomfortable in a month, you might as well start now and get the benefits immediately to taking action on your life right now. Right? One story I'll share with you real quick is maybe it was mid-COVID, right? A year into COVID or something like that. I had the idea to throw a challenge. And it was a 5-day free challenge where for 5 days, for about 30 minutes, we were going to work together as a group and help you get clarity on what it is that you wanted to do with your life. And by the end of the 5 days, you had a clear idea of what your purpose was and what you were supposed to be doing with your life. And I wanted to throw this challenge because I knew it could help people. I knew it could make an impact. But I caught myself at some point doing the same thing where I was like, I'm going to put this off and do this in a month and a half. And what one of my mentors told me is he goes, if you put this in a month and a half, if you put this in 3 months, or if you put this in 2 weeks, it doesn't matter if it's in 2 months or 2 weeks. It's still going to feel uncomfortable. It's still going to push you. It's still going to make you stretch. It's still going to require effort, time, and energy. So if it's still going to require all of those things, well, then you might as well do it in 2 weeks rather than in 2 months. Right? And for me, throwing this challenge, literally, it was speaking. And I'm a professional speaker. But still, it was uncomfortable for me. And I thought if I did it in 2 months, it was going to be easier. So I fall victim to this as well, where sometimes I push things off. I go, man, it'd be easier to do this in 2 months. When the reality is it's never going to be easier. It's never going to feel less uncomfortable. So if it's going to be just as difficult in 2 months, if it's going to be just as uncomfortable in 2 months, why not start attacking that right now rather than in 2 months, right? That's the second benefit to taking action now, is it's not going to feel easier. It's not going to feel less uncomfortable. So you might as well take the action now and get the benefit now, right? Now, the third benefit to starting now is you want to understand that there's never a right time. That there's never a right time to do something in our life. Right? Sometimes we want to change careers. Sometimes we want to step things up in our business. And we have, again, this illusion that there's going to be some right time where, my schedule's less busy, this thing's in order, this thing's in alignment, and this is the perfect time to do this. But really what you want to understand is that some of the best seasons of your life can be when you are busy, right? They say you want to get something done, give it to a busy person and they'll get it done, right? So if you're busy, it's a great time to start, because hear me on this. If you're busy in life and you got things going on and Thanksgiving's coming and Christmas is coming and all these things, if you can start this while you're busy and start moving the needle in your life, right? And obviously you got to have some desire. You got to really want this. But if you really do want this, you're going, I want this change. I want this shift. I want to move forward in my life. If you start doing this while you're busy, then all of a sudden when you become less busy, you're going to be crushing it 10 times harder, right? Versus if you start when you're not busy and then all of a sudden your life gets busy, you may run off the train tracks, right? Because all of a sudden life got busy and you didn't know how to handle it. But if you start when it's hard, if you start when it's busy, that means when it gets less busy, you're crushing it. And when it gets busy, you go, okay, things are back to normal, right? So know that there's not a right time. There's never going to be a right time. So if there's not a right time, why not start now? That's the benefit, right? Now, the fourth reason and the fourth benefit to starting now, and this is honestly one of my favorite benefits to starting now, is that if you start now on, whether it's a career change you want to make, you start now on moving things forward in your business. If you start now, all that means is that you get the benefits of taking that action much sooner. If you put things off in 2 months, you put things off in 3 months, you put things off in 6 months, and you go, I'll do it then you have to wait 2-3 months to get that benefit, right? Like if I told you, hey, I need you to do this thing and I'm going to give you $100,000. Would you say, you know what, Stu? I'm going to do that thing in 2 months because then I'll get the $100,000. Or if I said, do this thing and I'm going to give you $100,000, you'd for certain, you go, okay, I got to go. I'm going to go start doing this thing right now. But what's interesting is sometimes we can get more excited for $100,000. Yeah, it's a good chunk of money, but we can get more excited for something monetary than something in your life that is going to bring you 10 times more than money. Right? We go, man, if someone gave me $100, 100 grand, whatever, I'd do it today. But yet, when we're creating a future that excites us, which is worth 10 times that, we go, no, let me do that in 2 months. Right? So you want to understand, if you take action now, you get the benefits now. And there's a sense, and I know you felt this in your life, that when you have that thing you know you're supposed to do, when you have that thing that you know you need to take action on it, that when you finally take action on that thing, it's like a weight is lifted off your shoulders, and you can take a nice deep breath because you go, man, I finally did the thing that I was supposed to do. Right? And finally, it's not on your mind. You're not thinking about it all the time. You're not going back and forth in your mind saying, I should do this. I know I got to do that. Right? It's like you finally get the thing done. A weight comes off your shoulders, off your chest. You can breathe. You walk around a little bit lighter. So if you get all those benefits, why would you hold out on yourself and say, I'm going to wait to give myself all these beautiful benefits in 2 months? Why not get those benefits now? Take action now. Right? That's what's the secret, is take action now. You get the benefits now. Right? And yeah, there's going to be some maybe uncomfortable things, some scary things, some things that are going to push you. But focus on the positive things that are going to come from taking it. Right? You're literally robbing yourself by waiting a month, 2 months, of all the beautiful gifts that are going to come in your life because you waited. I hope you're hearing me right now. It's like you have all these good things that are just waiting to come into your life, and you're just putting them off. You have all these great things, opportunities, maybe extra income, extra fulfillment. You have all these incredible things that are waiting to come into your life, and you just keep going, you know what? I'm going to wait a month to get those good things in my life. I'm going to wait 2 months to get those good things. I'm going to wait, 365 days to get those good things in my life. Stop waiting, right? Get those benefits now by taking action immediately. All right, so that's the fourth benefit, is you get the benefits immediately when you take action now. And as we begin to wrap up, I want to give you a way that you can destroy procrastination in your life. Now, if you're a procrastinator, while you're listening to me, whether you're hanging out with us on YouTube or you're hanging out with us on the podcast, if you procrastinate, I want you to raise your hand right now. All right, raise your hand. I'm serious. Whether you're in an airport, whether you're driving in the car, whether you're sitting on your couch, raise your hand if you're a procrastinator. And for those of you that didn't raise your hand, I'm sure you'll raise your hand tomorrow. Right? Now, the truth is that everybody procrastinates in life. Everybody puts things off till tomorrow, next week. Some people do it more, some people do it less. Now, what I want to give you as we wrap up today is I want to give you a tool and a tip and a strategy that you can use to immediately start destroying procrastination in your life. All right, so this is the secret. Now, they did a study on procrastination at Harvard Business School. And what they found out is there is a takeaway they got from it, and it's called LODI. And what it stands for is the law of diminishing intent. The law of diminishing intent. And essentially what it means is that our best intentions as human beings diminish over time, right? So think about it like this. Have you ever had an opportunity come into your life and you wanted to take advantage of it, but for some reason you passed up on it, you decided not to, and then days, weeks, months, maybe even years later, you regretted not taking advantage of that opportunity? Right? Of course you've had something like that, right? It's like something comes across our plate and we get this excitement. We're so pumped to do this thing for our life. And all of a sudden we wait a day, we wait a week, and after a month, it's like we've totally forgot about this thing, right? Because our intention, our best intention, the more time that passes, the more our good intentions diminish. So what you want to do then is, if this law is a law, which it is, you want to learn to leverage and use this law rather than have it use you. Right? Like, think about this for a quick second. Let's say you were like, Stu, I have been studying the law of gravity and I've been practicing and I've been working really, really hard at it. And I'm going to go walk off this second story building in just a little bit. And I promise you I'm not going to fall because I've been working on beating the law of gravity. Now, I do not care how much you've been working on this law of gravity. Doesn't matter what you do. You're going to walk off that second story and you are going to fall to the ground. You're not going to beat it because it is a law. So the law of diminishing intent works the same exact way, right? If there's something you want in your life, understand that every minute, every second you wait, every hour, every day, your intention gets smaller and smaller and worse and worse and worse. So this is what we want to do. Anytime there's something in your life that you go, you know what, I should do this thing. This is going to move the needle forward in my life. This is going to help me in my career, in my business, in my health, in my relationship, in whatever area of your life. If there's something that comes in your life, you go, you know what? I should do this. This is going to help me in my life. Then when you begin to start to hear yourself go, I should do this, you need to make an instant switch and you need to go, if I should do this, well, then I must do this, right? If I should do this, then I must do it. And if I must do it, I must do it right when, everybody. Say it out loud if you're listening to me. I should do it right now. Let's say it together. If I should do it, then I must do it. And if I must do it, I must do it right when, everybody. Shout it out. There you go. If I should do it, I must do it, and I must do it right now. That is how you destroy procrastination, because if you don't do it right now, remember, Lodi is a law. And all of a sudden, a day goes by, a week goes by, a month goes by. You wake up in a year, you go, why is nothing in my life changed? It's because you changed nothing in your life. So if there's one piece you get from this little bit right here as we're talking about destroying procrastination, it's that anytime there's something in your life, you go, I should do it, you go, I must do it, and I must do it now. And as you build that muscle, you will begin to continuously move the needle forward in your life at an accelerated rate. All right, so my challenge to you, now that we're talking about procrastination and we're talking about the reasons and the benefits of starting now, is I want to give you a challenge if you're up for it, right? Yeah, it's fun to have a conversation here, but what's even more fun is to move the needle forward in our life. So my challenge for you as we begin to wrap up this episode for today is I want you to ask yourself, what's something you know you should do in your life? Maybe it's for your career, maybe it's for your business, maybe it's for another area of your life. What's something you know you should do? And I want you to go, you know what, I should do this. I must do this, right? If I should, I must. And if I must, we know when you must do it now. And my challenge to you, so I can hold you accountable here as your friend, as your coach, is send me a DM after you take that action and let me know what that action was. And more or less, we're going to put a timer on this. I want you to give yourself 3 hours to take this action. This is not, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it next week. This is in the next 3 hours. I want you to ask yourself, what's something you should do? Then you must do it. And you must do it right now. Give yourself 3 hours from when you're hearing my voice right now to take that action, and send me a DM on Instagram. It's Stu Massengill. You can see my name in the podcast cover. But send me a DM and let me know what that action was so I can hold you accountable. And I would love to support you on that journey. All right. So I hope you got some tips today on why you need to take action now, not tomorrow. Do not wait till 2023, my friend. Take action now. Crush that little booger procrastination, and your life is going to accelerate, my friend. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on today's episode. It's been an absolute joy to pour into you. It's been a joy to have this conversation with you. And as always, if you're enjoying it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you have a friend that you know needs a little bit of spice in their life, you know they need to start making some shifts, some changes, and you know they should not wait till 2023, go ahead and send one friend this episode, and I promise you, they are going to thank you for sending this over to them. Other than that, have a beautiful, unbelievable rest of your day, my friend. If you want to stick around, don't feel like you need to go anywhere. I have another episode coming up right after this. And other than that, have a wonderful, outstanding, unbelievable, marvelous rest of your day.